we have, even in the country, we have people who are in business and are wealthy. So how did they do it, and why can't you do the same thing? We are all the same. We all have 24 hours. So what is it that they know that other entrepreneurs don't know? Yeah, the rich business people, the wealthy, what is it they know that these other people don't know?
If you're like most entrepreneurs, you started your business to generate wealth for yourself. But moving on in the years, you find that the business always requires more capital, it requires more of your time. And if you're like most people, your wealth story is not really changing as much. Your quality of life seems not to be improving. And sometimes you find that you are in worse debt or in a worse financial situation, whereas you have been running your business for quite a long time. Joining us today is our wealth building expert for businesses, and what she's going to do is to help you figure out how to generate wealth from your business, starting from where you are until the time that you're going to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So Lilian, please let the people know who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. As Dennis has said, my name is Lillian Kiriethe. I am married. I have 2 sons, and I'm an accountant by training. And over the years, I have gained a lot of experience and expertise in wealth building out of my own personal journey, because I thought being an accountant automatically makes me good with money, but I realized there's a lot more to what we are taught in school, and that financial literacy is actually a life skill. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here and to share with you today.
Okay, so perhaps you can let us know how do you define wealth? I think that's a good place to start.
Okay. I would say wealth, there are 2 things we normally confuse: being wealthy and being rich. And most of us define wealth in terms of richness, that you're able to afford good clothes, good cars, a nice house. So we think that is being wealthy. But over the years, I've come to realize that being wealthy is more about having your finances in order and making wise money decisions. That is, you have reached a point whereby you care more about building for the future than about impressing other people. You have delayed, you have built up the art of delayed gratification. You want a nice car, yes. You won't buy it right now, you'll save up and buy it. Now that is wealth. That is wealth building. When you have been able to gather enough assets which are generating for you an income. Being rich is using your paycheck, your nice fat paycheck right now, to give you the things you want. Yeah.
Having nice things does not necessarily mean you're wealthy. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, yes. Having designer clothes, nice shoes, living in the upmarket does not necessarily make you does not necessarily make you wealthy. You might just be rich. Rich is temporary. Rich is for the moment. Yes.
And how does someone become wealthy?
Being wealthy is it's a journey, I would
Yeah.
say. It's a journey, a long journey. It's as I said, you have to learn how to delay your gratification. You have to be willing to learn how to be financially literate. You have to reach a point you accept, because many of us were not taught how to handle money when we were growing up. We were just told, go to school, work hard, get a good job. So we get the good job, we earn a good salary, and then we spend all of it. We have no clue of how to make that income create wealth for us. And that is, your income is a seed. I think very few of us know that. We think our income is it. So anytime we think we need more money, what do? You go back to school, get an additional degree, and get a promotion. Yeah, and that's not the route to wealth. So,
How does that income translate eventually to wealth? Just before we go to businesses.
all right, I'll mention a word that very many people hate. That thing called a budget. A budget is looked at like you're trying to constrain me. I won't have fun with my money. Most of us think like that. As opposed to thinking, in actual fact, a budget is what will give you your freedom. It's actually a tool that frees you to live the life you want, because a budget allows you to plan your finances. You're able to set aside money to save. You're able to set aside money to tithe if you're a Christian. You're able to set aside money for your lifestyle. Basically, your budget allows you to define your lifestyle. By lifestyle, I mean where you will live, where you will take your children to school, where you'll shop for your clothes, your budget, what you will eat. Your budget allows you to know that this is where the level of life that I will live for the moment, because now you're supposed to build wealth from your savings. You don't eat all your money, you save. And the other thing, you don't just save to go on holiday. There's a methodology to the saving again, which now is, as we get into the big details of building wealth now, that again becomes a subject on its own. Yes.
Now, for business people, you've mentioned two things that are, let me say, they sound like as though they're impossible. The first thing that you've mentioned is the aspect of business, the aspect of budget, and the second thing that you've mentioned is the aspect of saving. So from your experience, is it possible for a business owner to focus on building wealth without just focusing on looking rich?
Yes, it's very, very possible. For many years, I had my friends who are entrepreneurs telling me, you don't understand us. You are not on you're on salary. So you don't understand our problems. Our income comes, it's not regular. It comes seasonal. So I don't, so they accused me of not understanding them. So that gave me a challenge. And I was like, but they are business people. When you look around and I mean, we have, even in the country, we have people who are in business and are wealthy. So how did they do it? And why can't you do the same thing? They don't have two horns on their heads. Yeah. They don't have additional toes and fingers. I mean, we are all the same. The time that we all have 24 hours. So what is it that they know that other entrepreneurs don't know? Yeah. The rich business people, the wealthy, what is it they know that these other people don't know? So that began my journey now to how business people create wealth. And it's basically, it's the same rules that apply. Building your personal wealth and building your business wealth use the same rules. Yeah. You need to be financially literate. You need to keep records and to be disciplined with your money. And you need to have the delayed gratification. You must learn how to budget and save. And that means you wait for things. Yes.
Now, now picture this: an entrepreneur is, just like you had said, does not have an consistent income. So that
Yes.
means that sometimes they get money, sometimes they don't necessarily get money.
Yeah.
And in that situation also they find that there are other needs that tend to be cropping up, and the business itself also is demanding for aspects such as more capital, such as more time and attention from them. So in that kind of a situation, especially for people who are running small businesses, how do they navigate or think about wealth building in that specific season of their lives?
When you begin a business, it is very important to establish your budget. Yeah, this is like the foundation. Yeah, you must establish how much do I spend each month. You see, whether your income is coming in seasonally or not, every month there is a constant. So you see that already beats the purpose of my income is irregular. Your expenses are not irregular. If you're running a business, your expenses they are there. Yeah. It's just that because of the irregularity of the income, then we become indisciplined and we think when the money comes in, then I will do everything. Okay. And you know very well it comes in seasons. So without a budget, then you leave yourself open to the fluctuations of your income. But when you have a budget, if you earn money every 3 months or 6 months or whatever, and you know what your monthly budget is, then you're able to spread that income and it doesn't really affect you. The only thing that should destabilize you is an unexpected, those things we call, and yeah, you can't help God's whatever, or those shockers which just come in. Yeah. But barring that, you should be at a constant, because when you're telling me you can make money, and this is another another statement I get from entrepreneurs, I know how to make money. And they're very, very confident about that. Yeah. When you're trying to ask them, do you budget? Do you what? Somebody tells you, me, I know how to make money. And so you ask them, so why aren't you growing? Why aren't you building wealth? You know how to make it, and then now you're crying the economy is bad and what? I mean, if you know how to make money, you know how to make money. Good economy, bad economy. So it is just the discipline. I find most of us are very indisciplined and we don't like rules. So when you tell somebody budget, they just think in their head rules, rules, rules. And they don't want to follow rules. I mean, we couldn't wait to get out of school so that we don't follow rules. Now you're telling me my money I have to follow some rules. It's life. Gravity is a law of nature. Money, either you manage it or it manages you. That is life. Yeah.
Now, and now considering that quite a number of people went into business because they do not want to have, quote unquote, somebody telling them
what to do with their money,
with their money,
with their time,
with their time and with their resources. Like how can you put that to them, especially if they thought that business is the best route for them to build wealth? Like what would be the best way that you can communicate to them for them to understand that this aspect of discipline, regardless of whether you're working for somebody or you're working for yourself, applies all the same?
I think it's just to have the clarity, look, if you don't want somebody else to tell you what to do, tell yourself what to do. Yeah. You can't go through life just, and I will handle things when I will handle things. There are laws of nature, there are principles by which we live. You break the rules, they break you. So it's just that, it's as simple as that. It is either you control the money or it controls you. So even when you're telling yourself, I know how to make money, so you have to ask yourself, am I working for that money or is that money working for me? Sit down and have a conversation with yourself. Honestly, is the money working for you or are you working for the money? Money for the wealthy people, their money works for them. So are you there yet? Yes.
And perhaps, yeah, as we continue to have this conversation, other than the aspect of financial discipline, what other things tend to stand in the way for entrepreneurs when it comes to building wealth from their businesses?
Okay. The discipline is first. Number two is literacy. We are not financially literate. We think we know, but we don't know. Most of us don't know how money actually works. Yeah. We think we do, but we don't. So it's this was a very humbling journey for me. As I told you, I'm a trained accountant. So I mean, how can you tell me I don't know? I'm not financially literate, but for very many years of my work, I mean, the beginning of my working life, I was not I was financially literate, if I can tell myself that. So, and many of us are walking around like that. We think we know, but we don't know. And the beauty about it, when you start finding out about how money works, it is so simple. You know, it's very simple. The rules are the same. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, yellow, orange, the rules are the same. As long as you understand how it works and work with it that way, it will work for you. The other thing we have is the other challenge we have is we have a wrong mindset. Most of us have a very unhealthy relationship with money. Okay. But when we were growing up, our parents never discussed. I think that what most of us had was, does money grow on trees? Or the subject was treated, if you ask for money, your parent has a very angry look. Those ones don't ask, you know? So we developed a very unhealthy attitude towards money. So either we fear it, I mean, we literally have an unhealthy relationship. We fear it or we worship it. So you're very happy when you have a lot of money. Then when it goes, you get depressed. Or you become very, or when you get a lot of money, you again fear it's all going to go away. So we have a very wrong mindset of money. We need to understand that we are creators. And that is why business comes naturally to human beings. If you don't think of yourself as an entrepreneur, that thing was either educated out of you. You know, somebody made an effort to wipe it off in your mind. But honestly speaking, as a child, when we are born, we are entrepreneurs. We were created to be created. We're created in God's image. We are creators. We were created to dominate the earth. Dominating the earth means we are able to create. And money comes out of creation. So we should not fear it because we can create it at any time that we want. If we want, when we want. It's up to us. It's a decision we have to make. So that mindset is what we also need to work on. You have to train yourself and teach yourself that money is a tool and it's a resource, and it's not a reward. Also the other thing we think is that money is a reward for living life correctly. So I did my exams, I passed, I have money, so it's a reward for good behavior. That is also something else we need to guard against. We need to cultivate the mindset that money follows service. Okay? It comes after we offer service to a fellow human being. Think about all the businesses out there. And what are they essentially? Any business you can think of is a service to another human being. If you're not serving another human being, you're not making money. And that's basically it. So we need to shift our mindsets and think not how do I make money, but think how can I serve another human being? And there you come up with your business ideas. Yeah. So we need to reprogram our minds basically.
Wow, wow. I think that caught me by surprise, I would say. Like
Mm,
that thought that we were educated out of entrepreneurship. Like it's like we don't learn how to be entrepreneurs. We rediscover, or rather we
mm,
rediscover ourselves and then effect ourselves in the space of entrepreneurship and kind of
yes,
generate income from that, right?
yes. It's just that people make money from everything. People make money from cooking. So many women have started businesses, successful businesses from baking or just catering. You get so that you're not going out of your way. It's what you do naturally. You naturally serve people. So you find yourself, yeah, just creating a business out of that. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much for sharing that. At this point, I want us to talk about how do we pay ourselves now. I have rendered this service to the world. I have rendered this product that I have created. People seem to be buying it. So does that mean that all of the reward is mine, or how do we go about paying ourselves, especially as entrepreneurs? I know there are other entrepreneurs on the scale where when they win, then that's their time to celebrate, and the business kind of just goes second.
Yeah, it's called kurudishia mwili shukrani.
Yeah, yeah.
That one. You have to reward yourself for all your hard work. Again, it's the way we have been conditioned by society, our environment. When you do well in school, you're rewarded. When you do bad, you're punished. So it just comes from that. So with the as a business person, we are going to go back now to your budget. Your budget is it's a system. Okay. So when you're running a business, you must have your systems, your processes. There must be structure to what you're doing. Yeah. There's a formula. I think what I have discovered is there's a formula for running a business. It doesn't matter which business you're doing, the formula remains the same. The what do I call it? The skeleton. You can feed it with a lot of flesh and everything, depending now on the industry. But at the core of business is the same thing, one business to another. So you must have your processes, you must have your systems. And systems, another thing that is misunderstood, systems doesn't mean software. It just means a structured way of doing something. So when we are running our businesses, we must have, because now if you have properly put in place a structure, that means now let's use the your budget now, for example. In your budget, when you're doing your either your forecasts or just the operational one, there is a portion there called the price, how much you're going to sell your services or how much you're going to sell your product. In that price, whether consciously or unconsciously, because uh and I think like 50-60% of entrepreneurs make an unconscious decision, but somewhere in there you have factored in your salary, you have factored in a profit. Yeah. Now maybe you've told yourself you'll pay yourself from the profit, which is a wrong way of looking at things, because the price of your product should have a profit element, your salary element, and a portion for taxes. Standard. So if I'm selling maize and I sell 3 bags of maize, I will remove the portion for my salary, whether it's 1 or 2%, another 3% for profit, another 2% for tax. This is now where your budget comes in, because your budget will highlight all that. Then whatever money you're left for, that is the money you use for operations, for running your business. So that is how you pay yourself. Most of us just jump into business, set ad hoc pricing. You don't factor in all those things. So you say, let me just, there's this thing of market penetration. Let me penetrate the market, then I will increase my prices later. That is another myth. The day you go to increase your price, people will ask you because of, you know, yeah. So when you're doing your pricing, that is where you set your salary, your profit, and your taxes. So you have to be very careful when you're doing that.
Wow, wow. Okay, okay. So essentially, profit is not how much you buy something or the cost of production minus the margin that you decide. Like that means that profit must be something that you have really planned intentionally, and including where it is going to go. That is right? Or maybe I'm
You
lost about profit.
you're lost about profit.
Yeah.
When you set the price of a loaf of bread, you have calculated that I sell bread at 100 shillings. So 5 shillings will be my profit. 10 shillings will be my salary. And for each loaf, just look at one piece. And let's just say now 5 shillings is taxes. Okay, you set aside for tax. So whatever is left, that is 20. So 80 shillings is what you use to run the bill, pay your electricity, pay your workers, and all those. Now, why you need to separate your profit and your salary and your taxes is because this profit is actually the portion that is supposed to create your wealth as an entrepreneur. Okay, so that is what you ring fence. That's your plan. You get your budget is a plan. So your plan, your budget should include wealth building. So this profit is what we call savings. When in your salary, a salaried person, call it your savings, your business savings. Okay, so ring fence it, put it aside. I think that's the easiest illustration I can give. Look, think of the profit as the money I save. Okay, now there is the mechanism of saving and how now you do it systematically to the point where you create wealth. But that is the first step. Yeah, just getting into you just now learn that I have to save. Even my business needs to save. The same way when I'm growing my personal wealth, I have to save. Is the same way a business person, that salaried person takes their income and removes that portion they save. For the business person, that profit portion is actually the saving. That's what they save. Yeah. I hope
Wow.
that's clear.
Yeah, that's clear. That's clear. Actually,
Okay.
I'm thinking we should have another conversation
Mm,
specifically about budgets, about how to budget for wealth building as an entrepreneur. I think that is really going to enlighten. No, that it may be difficult for us to have that conversation in like 10 minutes, but I think
yeah.
that is it will be quite interesting for them to know how you come up with a personal budget, how you come up with a business budget, and
Yeah.
now how all those budgets work together to help you generate the wealth and achieve your wealth goals. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But from
It's a
today,
whole, that's like, that one you have just defined. It's not even another conversation. It's like another 5 conversations.
yeah, I know you run workshops to help entrepreneurs do all this, like to come up with these budgets and to come up with essentially a wealth building strategy or a wealth building plan.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, towards the end, you're going to get the opportunity to share a way that they can get in touch with you. For today, I would say the most interesting thing I have learned is that entrepreneurship was educated out of us. That is one thing.
Yeah.
Then then the second thing is the importance of budgeting and looking at a budget as a plan, because your expenses you're still going to spend anyway, even if you're
Yes.
not making money as an entrepreneur. And finally is about how the financial literacy, like where you put your money is the difference between whether you're going to continue struggling for the rest of your life or whether you are eventually going to become a wealthy, not rich person, but a properly wealthy person. Yeah, of course,
Yes.
if you want to become rich, you can go to the bank right now and get
Get
something
a
to show
loan.
people, get a loan and show
Get a
everyone.
loan. Haya factor, but kazi ikikatika kesho,
Everything will go bad. Yeah.
everything goes back to the bank.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to share with us with us all that. We will have another conversation about budgeting. Yeah, very soon, maybe next week or so.
All
And
right.
for the people who are already planning and they really want to get in touch, I'd like you to share with them how they can get in touch with you.
So you can reach me through my website. Yeah, you can book an appointment on my website, or you can drop me an email at lilian@fynsense.co.ke. My website is fynsense.co.ke. So when you click there, you find out a little bit more of what we are doing and how we are helping you as entrepreneurs build wealth through your business. Yes. And thank you for having me.